All right. Full stream should be up and running here any second. Just waiting on the green light there. Yep. Okay, it should be good now. Should be live. Market's been closed here for just a few minutes. Had quite a few trades here still into the afternoon, so that's why I'm coming on just a little bit later than usual, but not that late. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for November 16th, 2021. Came into today bullish on the Qs and SPY. Qs up 0.71 there. IWM as well up 0.18, and then SPY up 0.39. Let's take a look at what today's move up did for the hourly chart here. Yeah, we followed through on that buy setup. That was the basis for our bullish hourly here continuing. We were neutral yesterday. We got the pullback. We triggered the buy setup. So now the hourly, we have a 20-MA that's pointing up, a daily that has been pointing up. That's why it was short-term bearish for last week's pullback, and then weekly, of course, and monthly, all bullish. Okay, so market bias, not too much to talk about. Going into tomorrow, still bullish. SPY, new all-time highs, probably coming up pretty soon here. We're really close. Okay, so yeah, bullish going into tomorrow. So just resuming the trend there. All right. I have quite a few plays to go over, so we'll see what order we want to do them in. Maybe we'll do the RETO first, and then get that out of the way, and then look at some of the others. RETO gave you the numbers on this. RETO, we have what yesterday was a battle bar, so it serves kind of like a violent tug of war, right? You have the bulls who are trying to pull it up higher, bears trying to pull it lower, and then they kind of end in a stalemate. So kind of whoever takes control from here, the next move after that back and forth should be the winner, right? And so and all those bears will get proven wrong. So that was the reason for being bullish on the play. All right, and then I played this breakout here, and then on this breakout you can see got some volume there. I do think it was okay to have trailed here. Now you would have been pretty unhappy about it, but this is the rule that we talk about where you get a wide range bar and then an inside bar, and if it breaks underneath they often fail. This one I opted to go with 15 because the 15 had the same look here and it had a little bit of spread here. So that's what I was going for. I was even on the mic. I said, I'm going to wait for this 15-minute bar to finish, and I'm going to trail it underneath there. Okay. Fortunately, that did not get taken out. So when on this rule, I generally try to go with the largest time frame that is valid. But sometimes that also means if this had failed, then I probably would have taken a bigger loss. Okay. But I really don't like getting shaken out. You know, you'd be, I guess, maybe surprised considering how often I show you that I get shaken out or plays that shake out, and it just happens. So doesn't mean I have to like it, but you know, that's just how trading is, and I would say probably more now so than ever. Okay, so anyway, this was okay. If you trailed there, you'd have to be ready to get back in. First target was 246. Was able to get that. That was good. Had a limit order ready for that. The next one was 355. Waited through the afternoon. Did not do an ad, although that would have turned out okay. And then I kind of missed some of this last move here. After this run up here, I decided to take the whole thing at 262 because it kind of moved up, and then right here, this is where I was like, okay, let me just take it here. Look at that, 1 minute. So at the time, you know, I thought, okay, that's probably pretty good. We're running out of day here. We only got 10 minutes left, and then that's where it gave kind of that last little bit of a push. So, but overall, nice play. I think today I'm pretty happy overall. Management on everything was pretty good. Was pretty much stuck with the plan on everything, and so it doesn't mean everything worked. This SSS didn't work, but this one was a little bit tricky because it was actually a $2 X div. So even though it's gapping down here to 320, on the chart you put the dividend back in, it's actually only gapping to 1520. So shareholders are getting paid basically that price per share. So it's not really a change in demand so much as a change in price. Okay, there's kind of two situations where we discount the gap and we don't expect it to really work that well. And that's where something does a secondary offering, issuing more shares. So that's a direct effect on the volume of shares. And then XDiv is a direct change in the price of shares. You could also say splits and reverse splits are also direct impacts on the shares. What we want out of the gap is really a change in the demand for the stock. Okay, so these kind of gaps, like this kind of XDiv, usually they don't really give you nice trends. And I want to be in it for the big move. So I'll show you the play here. It was this breakdown on the 1 minute in the morning. Here it was, this breakdown here. So I didn't know at the time that it was XDiv. I wouldn't have played it if I had known, but played that, was looking okay, and then eventually it failed. And when it failed, that's when I was kind of wondering. I was like, I'm really surprised that a gap this good with a pattern that good would fail. And then that's when someone notified me it was XDiv. I checked on my charts because on Toss you can have that information. I have it on my other screen charts that, yeah, this was a $2 XDiv. So that didn't work. I stuck with it. Did take the stop on this. That's fine though. I like the pattern, and yeah, I just kind of missed that information. Okay, on the SSS. All right, and then next play here, RSKD. This one was a tough hold. This one was really tough. It was a little bit spready here. I got in it on after it did this, looks like a shakeout. I played it with the big stop too. I basically did the whole thing here like this. Okay. And was really trying to just hold it till end of day. And there were a couple times where it didn't look good. It really did not look good, and I really just didn't want to get shaken out of it because this was my favorite gap down. I mean, look at that. Gapping down to all-time lows. Now, if you've been in the room, you know we've been playing quite a few of these. I mean, there's plenty more where they're just, when they're gapping, they're breaking, and there's no support below. I don't know why this one isn't coming up. Let's try another one. Could be a platform issue. Okay, like the CDNA. Okay, let's give that one a try again. See if it wants to come up. Okay, there it is. You see that when they're breaking down to all-time lows, right? These are the, like these days, I expect these to close pretty weak and to give us some decent moves, decent sized bars to be in. Okay, so the RSKD, I thought it looks nice. It looks like it's really, really weak. Can't imagine anybody would want to be in that long. So, yeah, so that was good. And then finally gave the drop there into the end. Okay. And so, you know, once I get into the last 30 minutes, I want to start to be a little bit more tight on the plays. Okay. So you can see this gave a little bit of a shakeout right before, and then we finally got that drop. Now, why the last 30 minutes is because what we'll see is sometimes, especially something that's been trending all day, RSKD wasn't really trending. Notice how the RSKD dropped in the morning and then really just stayed flat. Okay. But what I want to protect against is stuff like this, like this EBS. You see how this really pronounced downtrend, right? And then into the last 30 minutes, right? Here it is, last 30 minutes. Look at all that it takes back on that from that downtrend, right? So that's why last 30 minutes, I want to start to tighten up. So that's the way that I'll treat all day trades. Okay, is last 30 minutes trades are basically at the final target, because I'm not, if it's a day trade and I'm not intending to hold it overnight, you know, then need to be getting out before the close. Okay. So yeah, that was the plan on these, you know. So the Rito, you know, of course might have been a little bit too early, but that's fine. This I'm not too bothered with. I think it did well with that. This, you know, and there were a couple times on this RSKD where it looked higher, especially right here. This one, this is where it looked like, okay, maybe, you know, this thing isn't going to go any lower, you know, and it may go against me and I may give back whatever it was up. So, but, you know, I really stuck with the plan because I like the gap. I like the gap a lot. And DM was nice. DM was good. Once it got the couple R target there, it didn't really go much further. And then it eventually transitioned higher. I think the last piece came out like 661. Nice gap on this as well, doing kind of a breakout failure on the daily. We went over these last week. We had a few of them. One of them was the FUBO, very similar type of, you look like you're going to break out, you're basing, and then you gap underneath it. Okay, that should get a lot of follow through for that disappointment of the daily trend. Okay, so yeah, we've seen a lot of these gaps work out pretty nice and get the follow through there. All right. So yeah, there was a lot to do today. I thought yesterday, like I said, it was Monday. Might have been slow, or might be a sign of things to come. But turns out, yeah, there's kind of a lot still to do. So, and then, I mean, this doesn't cover everything. These are just the things that I played today. There was like the HD, the PLBY, the ONON, all of those I kind of missed out on. So, but you know, the focus for me today, and I think what I did the best of was managing the plays. Okay. Um, there was plenty of opportunity to get shaken out and to kind of lose some patience. You know, there were times where the RETO got a little bit sloppy and ugly as well. Okay, RSKD definitely. So yeah, I think that turned out fine. All right, so hopefully you did well today. We'll be back at it tomorrow, and I will talk to you then. Have a good evening.